Hey friends, what's going on? This is David Potts with Song Notes, and in today's video I want to show you a bar chord strength training exercise. This is sort of the exercise I found myself using back many years ago when I was learning bar chords myself. That was before YouTube and guitar teachers you had to meet them in person, right? And basically with learning bar chords I was immediately frustrated that I couldn't play F and I couldn't play B minor, and I couldn't play F sharp minor or any other, bar chords you might use. It was a real bummer, and I remember thinking that I would never be able to learn them. I was convinced of that. You could not have told me otherwise. But I stuck with it, and I'm glad I did, because now I can play them, right? But the most important thing I took away from that whole experience that I want to pass on to you now is this exercise I came up with. Now, this is not some necessarily magical thing that'll make you learn the chords overnight. You will need to practice and put in the time. That's unavoidable. So, quite simply, here's the exercise. And it's it might be unglamorous when you see it, but basically what I recommend is, I assume you can play a single note. Let's go up to the 5th fret here, okay? The 5th fret. Play the thinnest string so that it makes a clean sound, right? Hopefully you can do that. And then from there, what I want you to do is add the B string also. So the high E string and the B string, but play them at the same time. And the goal is to be able to make them create a clean sound, right? If it's muffled, if you hear that or that buzzing, that means you're not pushing down hard enough, or you're pushing down hard but your fingers just aren't calloused enough. The angle isn't right? You kind of have to get to a point where you can push down hard. The lesson is built on the idea that you learn one string at a time. When you can do 2 strings cleanly, go to 3. Can you do 3 strings cleanly? Okay. If you can, go to 4 strings and 5 strings and 6 strings. Okay, the goal is to be able to get here, but you're not going to be able to do it necessarily at first. You want to find where your limitation is, and here's some ways to do that. So say you learn that 3 strings is kind of your sweet spot right now. You can do 2, but you can't do 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 strings at the same time cleanly. So what I want you to do is start again at the 5th fret. Start in the middle of your guitar here. It's actually harder, I think, on a lot of guitars to play a full bar on the 1st fret for F. So I want to start you up here on the 5th fret. We're just going to walk up from the 5th fret to the 6th fret to the 7th fret to the 8th fret. Okay? And we're going to repeat that. But here's the key. What I want you to do is obviously push down as hard as you can, really try to get those clean notes, but pick up your hand, go to the 6th fret, do it again, and the key here is you're not jamming your fingers into the guitar for each fret. All right, here I'm never letting up, right? It kind of sounds very rigid, but it's also very tiring because you're kind of exerting a lot of force a lot in a row. What I want you to do is push down just before you play, and then let go. Let go. Let go. So push, let go, push, let go, push, let go, push, let go. The reason this is important is you're going to give your muscles a little bit of a rest. And even though it might be a half-second rest, that really matters a lot when you're doing a 5 or 10 or 20-minute practice session. You can play a lot longer if you're not tiring your hands out right away, okay? So here's the exercise. Is every day I want you to just basically go through this for a minute or 2 or 3, a couple times per practice session, right? So basically if you're on 3 strings, just do this, for 8 times or something, right? Get those clean sounds. And then go to 4 strings. When you can do 3 strings, go to 4. When you can do 4, go to 5. Do it till your hands get tired, and you'll build up those muscles. But I recommend using this lesson as part of your bar chord sort of practicing, right? And given a few days a week for a few weeks in a row, I feel confident that you will be able to play bar chords or easy versions of bar chords that are sort of halfway, simpler versions that get you where you need to go. You can use them in songs as you work your muscles up to be able to play a full 6-string chord, right? An example of that is the F that uses the thinnest 4 strings. Really, my index finger here is barring 2 or 3 of those notes, right? Well, it's 2 of the notes I'm playing, the thinnest 2 strings. This is a lot easier to play than a full F, where my index finger is barring all 6 strings. Here it's only barring, 2 strings, right? So that's an example of something that this exercise will help you be able to play, okay? The other thing I want to say about this is you're not necessarily pushing down the flabby, under part of your finger that's softer skin, right? You're not necessarily doing the total side of your finger either. It's kind of like this diagonal middle part, right? Where you have the least fleshy parts and the more, you want like the sort of bone, the tough part of your finger to really do a lot of the work, because it's going to be an easier task for you to push down and make a clean note, okay? So notice I'm not pushing on the flabby underside, and I'm not totally sideways. I'm kind of like diagonal a little bit, right? And you also want to be close to the actual fret itself here. So notice barring the fifth fret, it sounds like that. I'm not like in the middle up here. That's harder to do, right? You want to kind of can't see it there, but you want to get close to the fret, okay? Yet another trick is if you're trying to do 6 strings, you can use your middle finger to sort of push down on top of your index finger to get a cleaner sound. Now this is actually very helpful when you're doing like an A minor up here, 5, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5, or when you're doing an F sharp minor, 2nd, 4th, 4th, 2nd, 2nd, 2nd. Okay? When you're doing a G, you have to have your middle finger down. Or this is an F. When you're doing an F, you have to have your middle finger down, or with that major shape. But again, the minor shape, the F sharp minor, the A minor, you can use your middle finger too. So again, this might not seem like too glamorous a lesson, but this was the exercise I used. I picked it up a few minutes of practice session, most practice sessions, and over time, it let me sort of finally be able to play that B minor, right? Or that F, or maybe the baby F, right? And then again, the glory of bar chords is once you know the F, you can also use that same shape to play a G, and an A, and a B flat, right? And a B, and a C. I mean, it's great because bar chords pay off in dividends, right? You're not just learning a chord shape you learned once. You're learning a chord shape you can use all over the guitar to do all kinds of cool stuff. So that's the lesson. Thank you very much for watching. If this was helpful, let me know. If you have additional questions, let me know. I want to make sure I'm covering this from all the right angles. So, but check out my website, playsongnotes.com, where you can find this and all my other lessons on there. Subscribe if you like this, and if this channel and my videos have really been a true help to you for a long period of time, please consider throwing a buck or two in the tip jar on my website. It all goes to me, and it helps me support this lesson, buying strings, paying for all the web software and the stuff I use to make all these videos and everything for you. And just I can, make more lessons more often and know that they're reaching people who really appreciate them. So thank you very much for watching. This has been David Potts. Have a good day. And remember, I want you to pick up your guitar and play. Bye-bye.